The Enermax Saberay is the official case of the... I mean, I don't know if I can, like, actually say that. I mean, it's not like Enermax told me, oh yeah, no, you can totally say that this is your official case. I don't think there would be any issues. I mean, legally, yeah, so, I mean, okay, well, personally, the Enermax Saberay is the official case of the hardware hound. We are going to just jump right into this RGB lighting. So normally I do like a separate video when I'm showing lighting effects, but because this is, to me, the best RGB case on the market, and since this is the thing that I'm going to completely focus on for my video here, we're going to actually cover it in detail. So right here is the first mode of lighting, and this mode they call the rainbow mode. And guys, this is one of the reasons why I call it the best RGB case. Now not only do we have these beautiful, brilliant lighting strips going down the front, top and front here, and the square BG fans that they have in the front, I mean, those look great. But look at this lighting pattern. Look at what's happening here. Now I'm going to get down here. It's doing a spectrum wave the way you should. It's gradually bringing a color cycle. So like right here, here's a bunch of blues and teals. Then as it fades in, purple, red, yellow. It's only doing a certain number of tones at a time, so it's actually not completely color overload. Well, I know some of you are going to say, yeah, it's completely color overloading me. But for a lot of people, this is not color overload. This is just beautiful. And I know I'll still have people think this is a Christmas tree, but I just don't care because I love this look so much. I love the fact that it cycles through like a wheel of the color, like a triangle of the color wheel at a time, so that it's not really overloading at any given moment. And I think that's brilliant. That is great. Now there's 3 buttons here. So the top button, the first one will let you control. So right now I'm using the controller. If I press it once, that turns it to, now I know the lights went off, but if I was using a motherboard header to control it, I could use the RGB as a hub rather than an actual controller, and it would pull the signal from whatever other RGB controller is. And then of course you can just turn it flat off if you just want the lights off. But now we're using the Enermax controllers. So you can cycle through. The second mode is called Auto RGB, and all it is just a straight color cycle. And so you're going to see this now slowly start to fade into the different colors. Now, you say, all right, I want to pick one of these colors, and I don't want to have it cycle. How do I do that? There's no extra button for it. All you do is you wait for the cycle to go through until it hits the color you want. Now, I don't really like white, so I'll let it go through. So let's say we do this, well, that red went by pretty quick. So let's say we go, hey, there's green. If I press that button again to go to mode 3, which is fixed color, it'll fix the color from whatever it was set on the auto RGB. So you have to kind of pick it just right. Really, if I was going to do a fixed color or something like that, I would probably use a motherboard header and use it as the hub mode. Now from there, the first 2 modes you cannot pick brightness, but here we can actually pick 3 different dim modes. So there we have the brightest, a medium light, and then a very low light. And so yeah, go back to the brightest now so we can see it. So that was the fixed color. The next one is called the sway. So you can just see the color swaying back and forth. It's like we can get a little bit of dancing going on here. Okay, I'll stop that now. All right, next mode. Oh, that was a dimming mode. Come on, we can do this. All right, so then we've got here the flow. So you just see like the colors just going through and flowing through the things, and that's pretty cool. I like that one too, but it's still not my favorite because rainbow's my favorite. And then they've got what they call the snake. So you'll see as the color goes through, there's this snake that runs through it, keeps changing colors and getting, it looks to be a little bit longer. And so now we got the white snake and it's getting a lot longer. And now when we do a color change, you're going to see the snake keeps changing colors, but now the base color has changed. So once it gets through the longest snake, which appears to be white, There's the purple. There's the white snake. And then when the white snake runs through, bam, see, we got a new base color. So that's it for lighting effects on this case. It's not a ton, but there is definitely a lot of creativity there on those lighting effects, which I appreciate. But if you don't like these lighting effects and you have an RGB controller, there's a really good chance that you can connect the fan controller once again to a hub using the motherboard control mode, and then you can use a different controller to still control everything that's going on. Brilliant. Guys, let me just do some final thoughts on this case as a case and just a brief summary, and that way I can wrap this review up. The RGB lighting may be the best in my opinion, but I'm not trying to say that the Enermax Saberay ADV is like the perfect case either. And I'm going to have my full written review on my website. So if you want those like really good details on the build process and stuff, check out that article. I'll have it linked in the description below. But as far as just highlights are concerned, you know, one thing I would say is the RGB lighting, your selections are still going to be a bit limited with the onboard controller. Hey guys, Hardware Hound here. I'm just interrupting myself real quick. So I was talking about how these light strips here, you cannot control. They look proprietary, and then I forgot, on the board, like right here on the case, I can go to motherboard controller, of course, turn them off. Well, that means that this isn't just an RGB controller that Enermax includes with the case. It means it can also be used as an RGB hub. So yeah, you can even control these light strips with different controllers as long as you can go out to an addressable 3-pin, and then the controller will just take it and move it to this. So dang, man, this case kind of thought of everything. It's just great. Okay, back to me. This case was really great to build in. And if there was really one improvement I would love to make with this case, it's just a little bigger. Like across the whole board. Like the motherboard fit in really nicely. But if it was just a little bigger, it would be like a breeze mode. And things like I had to remove a 140mm fan to get my I/O panel in. Yeah, just little things like that. The cable management space was solid, but it would have been nice if it was just a little bigger. But you know, this is like me saying, hey, what should we expect from the next Saberay case? And I think Enermax has such a great case here that they could start charging premium, close to like $300, and just go all out. Make the Saberay their premium case. They might even consider taking a little bit of that boxy look down and maybe make like an angled edge on the sides there for the lighting strip. Not only would it make it so that you would see the lighting from better angles of the side and front, but it would kind of take away from some of that little bit of that boxy look as well. Right now, the ADV, though, is $160 on Amazon. Now, this normally runs $200, well, technically $199. So at $159, that is a heck of a deal, guys. This is a great case. It's still one of the best I've built in. The only real problem I'm seeing, but this isn't just an Enermax problem, this is kind of across the board with the exception of kind of Fantex. We've got to do better cable management. We're going to have consistent channels throughout the back of the case now, because if we just don't have it, it's really hard to keep everything untangled and not being a mess back there. But other than that, you know, like I said, that's not just an Enermax thing, that's kind of across the board. And Fantex is about the only company that's been doing that for a while. They're prepared for all the addressable RGB cables that people are getting in their cases. I love it. I call it a must-have case, guys. You're going to see this case now. This is the studio case I've been dreaming of for years. I finally have it. Yes. I just kept looking at this case and just be like, I love this case. I love this case. It's got my lights going and I'm just looking and I'm switching out some front panels and taking pictures like, I love this case. I really love this case, guys. All right. That's all I got for you. Like and subscribe if you want to help me out. I appreciate it. And I will catch you later.